We call to order the July 23rd, 2025 Planning and Zoning Board meeting. Bobby, call the roll, please.
Gigi Dubeck. Paul Fisher.
Here.
Robert Hartzell.
Here.
Tundra King.
Here.
Carrie Ann Worley.
Here.
Carla Coleman.
Here.
Fred Stacer.
Here. So tonight, Mrs. Worley is sitting in for Mr. Dally. All right, next item on the agenda is our traditional 30-second moment of silence. So if you would at this time, please be silent for the next half minute. Thank you. Okay. Next item on our agenda is the approval of the minutes. The chair will entertain a motion.
Make a motion that we approve June 2025's minutes.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any questions on the or changes or anything? All right. Seeing none, Bobby, call the roll on the minutes.
Tundra King.
Yes.
Paul Fisher.
Yes.
Gigi Dubeck.
Yes.
Robert Hartzell.
Yes.
Carrie Ann Worley.
Yes.
Carla Coleman.
Yes.
Fred Stacer.
Yes. Okay. Next item on the agenda is individuals who will be testifying tonight. At this time, please stand and be sworn in by the secretary.
Please stand and raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the evidence you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
First item on the agenda, item number 1, Pompano Pickle right-of-way abandonment, P&Z 2518501. Project locations 200 Northeast 4th Street. Mrs. Barshevsky.
Good evening, Chair. Good evening, planning board members. For the record, I'm Maggie Barshevsky. This is a request to abandon a 14-foot alley, which is located between Northeast 2nd and Northeast 3rd Avenues, running east-west for approximately 265 feet. The alley was created via the Campbell and Saxon addition plat. As the staff report shows, there are no city assets within the alley. Staff report states that there are 3 service provider letters necessary to be submitted. However, subsequent to completing the report, FP&L submitted a conditional no objection. FP&L wants the applicant to provide an easement. Therefore, the 2 conditions suggested by staff will remain, however, slightly modified. Also, for the record, there had been a staff report that had a condition of an access easement being necessary rather than what needs to be stated. It's a utility easement that needs to be provided. There is one other property owner included in the block that will be receiving half of the width of the alley if this is approved. And the property owner has submitted a letter supporting this abandonment, which has been uploaded. The review standards for an abandonment are the easement is not now or in the foreseeable future of any benefit to the city or its inhabitants. Number 2 is the abandonment is consistent with the comprehensive plan. Staff has determined that the above review standards will be met with the submittal of the remaining letters and an executed utility easement instrument to FP&L. Staff provides the following alternative motions for the board review. 1, recommend approval to the City Commission as the board finds that the alley abandonment meets the required standards with the following conditions to be completed prior to the City Commission hearing. Number 1, that the applicant provides the remaining 2 letters of no objection. And number 2, that the applicant will submit an executed utility easement instrument for FP&L to be recorded by the city if the ordinance is approved. And then alternative motion number 2 would be you could table the abandonment request to allow more time for the applicant to address any questions that you may have. And then staff recommends alternative motion number 1. And that concludes my presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions, or the applicant is here.
Okay. Anybody have any questions of staff before we move to the applicant? Okay, seeing none. Mrs. Patton, did you want to say anything, or you just for answers? Or?
Good evening, Chairman Stacer. Thank you very much. My name is Tara Patton. I'm the agent for the project. I'm here to answer any questions you may have. I concur with staff report.
And the 2 conditions of staff.
Yes, I am.
Okay,
I
thank
concur.
you.
Thank you.
Ms. Patton, just the address for the record, please.
Certainly. My office address is 10805 Glen Eagles Road in Boynton Beach, Florida.
Thank you.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for the applicant? Okay, seeing none. Does anybody in the audience want to speak on this item? Seeing none, the public hearing portion will be closed. With that, I'll bring it back to the board. And if there are no questions, Chair will entertain a motion on item number 1.
Move that the board recommends approval for item number LM 745 with the following conditions by staff, 2 conditions by staff.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions on the motion? Seeing none, Bobby, call the roll on item number 1.
Tundra King,
Yes.
Robert Hartsoe,
Yes.
Gigi DeBeck,
Yes.
Paul Fisher,
Yes.
Carrie Ann Worley,
Yes.
Carla Coleman,
Yes.
Fred Stacer.
Yes. Good luck with your project. Okay. Item number 2. Coastal Waste and Recycling 18, P&Z 25-12-507. I had to count them real quick there. Address 2281 Northwest 16th Street. Mr. Cady, you are up, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and board members. My name is Jonathan Caddy with Development Services. This subject is for coastal waste and recycling. So here is the location and aerial view of the property. The parcel is located at the northeast corner intersection of Bryony Avenue and Southeast 6th Street. The site address is 2281 Northwest 16th Street, Pompano Beach, Florida, 33069. The applicant is requesting for a major site plan approval to construct a new transfer station, including new foundation planting and 8 parking spaces. The proposed height of the building is 37 feet. The DRC approval was on May 7, 2025, and the AAC approval was on July 1st, 2025. The zoning district for the site is special industrial, and the land use is industrial. Here's the site plan. And this is a larger view of the site plan with the proposed scope of work area. Should the board find that the applicant has provided competent, substantial evidence to satisfy the review standards for major site plan approval, and Development Services Department recommends approval of the major site plan subject to the following conditions, A through E. This concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions on behalf of staff, as well as the applicant is also in attendance and represent the project.
Okay. Does anybody? Yes, Mrs. Coleman, go ahead.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I know I talked with you about this project because I had a couple of questions, but one other thing occurs to me now. This is expansion of a solid waste site, correct?
Yes.
Okay, but this is
in addition
a new,
to the principal use.
but this is a new transfer station.
Correct. On site.
Okay. Can you talk to me a little bit about the traffic in and out of this and how it would be routed?
I don't have I don't have too much information to give you on
Would you
the traffic.
suggest I ask the
Yeah,
applicant?
the applicant will,
I will do that. Thank you so much.
problem.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Applicant?
Good evening, Chair, members of the board. My name is Matthew Scott. I am a zoning attorney at the law firm of Greenspoon Martyr, with an address of 200 East Barrett Boulevard. I'm here on behalf of the applicant, Coastal Waste and Recycling. Let's see here. So we're here tonight seeking approval of our major site plan application. Prior to coming tonight, of course, we went through the DRC and addressed all DRC requirements. That we also went to the Architectural Appearance Committee last month and obtained unanimous approval for the architectural design. I always like to start with an aerial. So here's just an aerial of where the site is located within the city. As I said, I'm here for Coastal Waste. They use this facility as a transfer station. It's been existing for over a decade, and they just want to add another building to it. The purpose being for temporary waste transfer before going to the landfill. But just to zoom in, it is directly east of Broward County prison facility, or a jail, on the west side, and then it's otherwise surrounded by industrial uses all the way around. So this is a heavy industrial area meant for these types of uses. I wanted to provide an existing conditions aerial because just to show that the site is currently improved with a tall wall on all sides and heavy landscaping. So I'm going to show you the architecture tonight, and I'm going to show you the site plan, but candidly, none of that's going to be visible from the street. It's an existing place where waste is taken, collected before going to the dump. So as I said, it's been permitted as a solid waste management facility for processing construction and demolition debris, yard trash, and Class 3 waste, clean debris, and recovered materials. This was approved, as I said, over 15 years ago in 2010 for this use and has been operated as such. We're proposing to add a 16,000 square foot building to be utilized as a Class 1 municipal solid waste transfer station where waste is collected, sorted, and temporarily stored before being transferred to a landfill or other disposal site. Something I didn't know before working on this project is there is a difference between waste and trash. I don't know if any of you know this, but waste refers to organic material, food, things of that nature. Trash is different. So we're only proposing for there to be a temporary storage of waste here, and there are restrictions, regulatory restrictions on how long it can be stored. So this, as I said, is a transfer station to collect that waste from the smaller trucks, the garbage trucks you see on the street, until a certain amount is collected, and then a larger truck is brought to bring that in and then take that for final dumping. And so that's the purpose of what we're proposing. But as part of that, the city always looks for there to be improvements to the site made when you're adding buildings of this size. And so we are proposing new parking, landscaping, and drainage in the affected areas of the site. And so here's our site plan. On the left is just showing, in general, the area that's affected. On the right is the area that's affected with some additional landscaping being added. I mentioned that, candidly, no one's going to be able to see what's going on in there. Here are the images evidencing that. So these are the various sides that show that it's currently improved already with an existing wall and mature landscaping. Those things aren't going to be changed with this project. They're just what's there now. Here are the elevations that don't tell a great story. So I always go to the renderings. Here's the first rendering from the street. Again, heavy industrial area, but you can see the building in the foreground. Here's another rendering from above of what the actual building will look like. So this is from the front, so to speak, from the street. The entrance to the waste transfer station is on the north side, so interior to the site. That will help, I guess, manage any potential or perceived impacts, even though, candidly, based on the size of the site, the wall, and the landscaping, there's really not going to be any external impacts. But the loading and unloading into the building will happen internalized to the site. And then here's just another rendering. This is from the north looking south, so the proposed building is sort of in the top right corner of your screen. That shows where those entrances are to the proposed new 16,000 square foot building. So I have a handy slide here that lists all the site plan review standards with a green check next to each because, as I said, we've already completed our DRC review. The staff report indicates that we meet all criteria for the code. We're not seeking any deviations. We're not seeking any relief. We're not disputing anything that staff has to say. We've met code as to all requirements. And this is supported as well as competent substantial evidence with our justification statement, of course, going through those criteria. And then the site plan and other drawings in the backup for this matter. Joined tonight by my client, a few folks from Coastal Waste that have operational information, if there's anything about how it's going to be operated, as well as the project engineer that designed the site plan. Thanks very much for allowing me to make this presentation. We would respectfully request approval and we'll be happy to answer any questions.
And you agree to the one condition?
Yes, and I forgot to say one other thing. We agree to the conditions, of course, and access is not being changed with the project whatsoever. There's an existing access point. It's not being modified in any way. So there's no new curb cuts, no new driveways. All access stays the same. Thanks.
Mrs. Coleman, did you want to go?
Can you talk to me, or your client talk to us a little bit about how many additional trucks there will be a day and how they'll be routed through the neighborhoods? Now, this is an industrial area. Fully understand that, you know, you meet the criteria for the project. I just want to know what kind of additional traffic this will generate.
Sure. Give me one moment. So, as you know, Ms. Coleman, we're not required to do a traffic study for this kind of project. So I don't have the data handy, but perhaps.
Okay. I'm sure he's got an idea of how many additional trucks will move through there, though.
Drive right past that homeless place, one I objected to. But there's two other facilities that do that right now.
Just keep this all on record, that's all.
So the overall traffic impact, or I should say in and out activity, isn't going to change because they currently store some of the waste and debris outdoors. So part of this proposal is to store it indoors. And so on average, the trucks leaving, taking the big loads to the dump is 15 or 20 per day. And currently on average, they have, give or take, 70 to 100 of the smaller trucks coming and dumping in there per day. They don't expect for this to change. It just allows them to store a different kind of waste there if it's indoors.
Okay. But the same amount of trucks, just
Yes, ma'am.
different storage.
Yes.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
You just said that it allows them to store a different type of waste. What is the different type of waste than what they're already handling?
Yes, so the, you see on this slide here, the proposed addition will allow them to utilize this as a transfer station for Class 1 municipal solid waste. That's what it will allow them to store there now. I mean, with the approval, I should say.
So can you distinguish for me, I guess for the board, what's the difference between a Class 1 municipal solid waste and a Class 3 waste that they're already taking?
Well, that's going to continue, just to clarify. Right. So the operations that are in structures now, because there are structures on site, is going to continue. This is going to allow them to add this additional type of waste transfer storage. You want to know the details on the difference?
Yeah, I just wanted to know what the distinction between Class 3 and Class 1.
I'll ask.
Pretty sure Class 3 is the construction type that comes in dumpsters and
Right.
stuff. That facility has been It's been doing that for at least to 2010 because I've been in and out of that facility dozens of times with about 4 owners ago.
Mr. Chair, is your mic on?
Is mine?
Yes.
Yeah, it's on. Okay. So that if you read the description up there, it says process, construction, demolition, debris, yard waste and class 3.
Right, they're saying class 3, but it's changing. The reason they're building the building is
Yeah,
'cause
I
they're
got,
changing the
I
class.
got the
Go ahead.
answer, and I'm
He's got
sorry
the
that I
answer.
didn't come with
Okay.
it. As I
Okay.
said, for this project, I didn't know that there was a difference between waste and trash, so I am playing catch-up myself. But class 3 is construction debris, things of that nature, which it's been doing for a long time. Class 3 regulations allow that to be stored indoors and outdoors, per regulations. If the site plan is approved to add the 16,000 square foot building, they'll be able to store the class 1 waste, which is food materials, organic materials, but that has to be stored indoors. I'm guessing because it stinks if it's stored for very long. And so that's the difference. So right now, it's all a class 3, which is construction debris, non-organic materials, things that presumably are less likely to smell really bad. So that'll be mostly class 3, because that's there now. Go back to the aerial. And then an addition of a class 1 for the organic material waste indoors.
Okay, Mrs. Coleman.
What kind of odor control is likely to be built into the new building?
Yeah, so part of the reason why we designed it with the doors facing interior is to help with that. The doors roll down so they can be closed. And it's a fully constructed and fully enclosed building that has lining built in on the inside of those walls to help with that as well.
Do they have misters? Yeah, that's what I thought, because your facility down in Hollywood has misting in it. Yeah, I've been in that facility too, so.
So there will be something to help mitigate odors, is the only thing I was trying to get at here.
That's,
I know this is an industrial area, but when you have a prison next door, it may not be a residential neighborhood, but you at least have people living next door to it. So I'm trying to make sure that we've got some odor mitigation from a clearly class 1X use here. That's all. Okay.
Mrs. King, please.
It says on the backup information that it's open from 6 to 10 p.m. So will the trucks still be mobile at that time, or the employees will be doing something in-house? How does that work?
Yeah, I think the plan is for trucks to be coming and going during that time frame. Yes.
And approximately, how many employees are on the site? I decided to just come up.
Good evening. My name is Josh Rogers, Coastal Waste Recycling.
Good evening.
This is 4950 Communications Ave, Boca Raton, Florida. So currently, the facility employs about 11 people. With the addition of this building, we'll have about another 4 people.
And so I saw so there's only just that one entrance way, because I thought I saw a couple gates on the backup
There's a couple of
information.
gates. We don't utilize those gates. They're really just for fire access. We have one gate off of 16th Street to the east. You gotta come across our scales to weigh in. Then we have one exit on the east side of the property.
So no public will be accessing your building?
Hopefully not.
I was just,
We'll put 'em in
I
the
was
jail
thinking more
then.
like vendors or things like that, not.
We do have a building on the street to the north where public might come to. It's an office building, admin building. They do not come through the actual operations portion.
Okay, thank you. Well, I have one other question. Were you able to speak with the district commissioner about this project? Mr. Attorney Matthew?
No, we did not. It's candidly an as-of-right project permitted by code on a site that already is improved with similar facilities. It doesn't go to city commission, so we hadn't spoken with the district commissioner.
Mrs. Worley, go ahead.
You may have addressed it, but what's the reason for the change? Meaning, I know it's debris and the waste change. Why add that?
Pompano's got a lot of garbage there, whatever.
So one of the reasons is we are a vendor of Pompano Beach. There is a need in the county for MSW transfer. There's very few other transfer facilities like this in the county.
We're adding this, as you're saying. Okay. Because we don't have it.
That's correct.
Capabilities. Okay.
Thank you.
And we do the collection waste now.
I think I heard you say it. Can you tell me again how long you said there's a time frame that the waste can remain at the site? Can you remind me again of that time frame? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
48 hours.
48 hours?
Sir, just closer to the mic, please, so I can pick up.
48 hours.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Hartzell, go ahead.
Have you reached out to the neighbors at all, the businesses, the industrial businesses in the area? As far as, my concern is the odor with the addition of that class 3 waste.
So with the technology that we typically use, they're neutralizers. We don't mask the odors. It's usually not too much of an issue. As far as the neighbors, we do operate a facility across the street. We are our own neighbors. We do have good relationships with all the neighbors.
Okay. Just for the record, I've had conversation with the council this afternoon, but nothing that was said, it really wasn't anything in consequence in reference to this, and I'll just deal with this subject matter as it is presented tonight. Anybody else? Okay. Seeing none, anybody in the audience want to speak on this? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Council, you have anything else, or are you good?
No, just to reiterate, the proposed use in all material specs is a permitted use under your code. It's not a special exception use. It is not a use that we have to seek in any sort of special relief or variance for. And the application we've presented meets code to the T. So thank you very much for your consideration.
Okay. With that, does anybody else have anything else? And if not, the chair will entertain a motion on item number 2.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I make a motion. Hold on, let me put my glasses on here so I can read. In consideration of P&Z application number 25120000007, I move the board finds that competent and substantial evidence has been presented that satisfies the review criteria and approves the major site plan with the one condition, A through E, subject to those conditions provided by staff.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any questions on the motion? Seeing none, Bobby, call the roll on item number 2, please.
Carla Coleman,
Yes.
Tundra King,
Yes.
Gigi DeBeck,
Yes.
Paul Fisher,
Yes.
Robert Hartzell,
Yes.
Carrie Ann Worley,
Yes.
Fred Stacer.
Yes, thank you. Good luck with your project. Keep on wasting. Item number 3, Florida Indoor Tennis, Major Site Plan 23-12509. Address is, it just says West Atlantic Boulevard. Mr. Katie, you're up.
Good evening again, Mr. Chairman and board members. This subject for discussion is Florida Indoor Tennis as a major site plan request. So here is the location of the area of the property. The parcel is located south of West Atlantic Boulevard, adjacent to the south end of Northwest 31st Street. To the north, the zoning designation is residential plan unit development. To the south is both transportation and Paris Parks and Recreation, and the zoning designation to the east is general business, and to the west is also transportation. The applicant is requesting a major site plan approval for a racket sports facility, which would include a clubhouse, tennis court, three racket courts, pickleball courts, and 32 parking spaces. In the PZB staff report that was submitted, I believe there was an error with the amount of courts that they're proposing. It should just be three indoor courts. Florida Indoor Tennis also received a plat approval. I believe it was in February 26th of this year, and it was also approved. Here's a larger view of the proposed site plan. This is a larger view of the proposed scope of work area. Should the board find that the applicant has provided competent, substantial evidence to satisfy the review standards for major site plan approval, the Development Services Department recommends approval of the major site plan subject to the following comments and conditions A through D. This concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions on behalf of staff, and the applicant is here to present their project.
Okay. Anybody have any questions of staff before we move to the applicant? I just had one. It said something about it went to AAC. Did you say it passed or it?
Yes, it passed.
Okay, because it just said it went there, so I was like, okay. Okay, so it passed.
That's correct.
For the record. Okay. And with that, I think we'll move to the applicant, if he has anything. Mr. Scott?
Matthew Scott again from Greenspoon Martyr here again on behalf of the applicant, Florida Indoor Tennis. I think we can all agree that this one is a little cooler than the last one. I've been working at this one for quite some time. I'm joined by my client tonight and their permit expediter. And want to give you a little bit of the background on this one because I think it's pretty interesting. My client is from the Northeast, has extensive experience with tennis and tennis clubs, came to South Florida, saw that there is very few, if any, tennis clubs, opportunities to play indoor tennis in South Florida, even though it's so popular here. And so while most of the time we're able to play outside if we play tennis or pickleball, it rains a lot, particularly in the summer, and so there's a huge demand for the ability to find a place to play indoors, particularly for die-hard tennis enthusiasts. And so my client engaged in an extensive process of looking for sites and kept hearing over and over again how much is going on in Pompano Beach, how the great things that are happening, how it's a great place to do business, how it's a great location, it's got great proximity to a lot of other interesting cities. And so they were able to identify this site. Now this site on Atlantic Boulevard, west of Powerline, so sort of a westernmost edge of the city, used to be part of a Palmera golf course. I think, if my memory or research is correct, it was a green. I think you hit over the green, and there might have even been a tunnel you went under once upon a time. That golf course has long since been closed, and this site has been sitting vacant for a real long time. And so it's a pretty funky shaped site. It's this weird part of Atlantic Boulevard where it bulbs out and you have to do this curve. And so it's not ideal for lots of different types of development. But for this site, it made a lot of sense because it presented the ability to develop a tennis facility indoors and then have some potential for future development of tennis courts outdoors as well. And so I think part of the confusion in the staff's backup about how many courts we're going to have is because initially when we got started on this, we started on this, I think, right around COVID, or if not before. I think I worked with Ms. Dolan over here on a land use plan amendment and a rezoning to make the way for this. Initially, that was the first step, is we needed to go to the city commission to see if they wanted this to be a commercial recreation site. So we did that a long time ago. Things have changed, and so due to construction costs, challenges that I don't want to bore you with, we've reduced the scope of the project to just 3 indoor courts as sort of a first phase, with the hope, dream, that it'll go really well, that it'll be really popular, and it'll support the future construction of outdoor courts, which would be a separate process, but that's sort of a placeholder, which I think is what led to this confusion. And so I just mentioned this, we went through the land use plan amendment process to allow for commercial recreation here, and that was something the City Commission approved, and also a rezoning. And so here then is the overall site plan. We have one access point from Atlantic Boulevard. I can tell you that was sort of like death wrestling with ogres with FDOT to get that access point. It's another reason why it's taken us so long to get here, because there were a ton of challenges. Candidly, Atlantic Boulevard's a busy place, and so they wanted to make sure that that access was safe. So we had to do traffic studies for them. We had to redesign it. We had to move it. And this is what we settled on, that FDOT approved this access point because it was the safest location. As I said, there will be 3 indoor tennis courts. When you enter the facility, you'll enter into a clubhouse type of thing, an entry area with a sitting area, perhaps some vending machines or some light refreshments for sale. Of course, there'll be bathrooms and locker rooms. But the goal here, the vision, is for this to be minimalistic, it to be a place where people who are really diehard tennis people, people that want to be guaranteed a chance to play and not have to worry about weather, will be able to come here to do their tennis. To play tennis or do their tennis training, I should say. Got a little lost in my words there. And so they tried to keep it simple, not anything crazy or extravagant, a simple place that people can make sure they have the access to tennis courts indoors, particularly when there's inclement weather. So then here again is just a zoomed out site plan, just showing you that to the west there is potential for to add some outdoor tennis courts in the future. And here again is the floor plan, which is sort of a repeat, showing on the north side that clubhouse entry area, locker rooms, and then the 3 tennis courts. When we went through the land use plan amendment process, came to City Commission, we met with all the commissioners, of course, talked to all them, and what we heard from a bunch of residents, particularly in Palmair to our south, was that they welcomed this because residents that are there on that side stare at apparently a really ugly gas station across the street, and so they welcomed this new structure in front of them with new landscaping, paving, grading, and a site taken care of, as opposed to just looking out onto sort of an unpleasant look of Atlantic Boulevard, an unkept site that's been sitting there vacant forever, and then this gas station. So this landscape plan just shows how much landscaping will be installed around the building to beautify the site. And then the landscaping continues to the west on that sliver. Again, here are the elevations that, as I said, never tell the story, but we made sure to have renderings. The building is proposed to be, I think, 32 or 33 feet tall, right, of course, for tennis courts. This is, of course, within the maximum height that code permits, which I think is much higher. And it's just a pleasant, modern architectural design that the Architectural Appearance Committee approved. Just another look showing some of the landscaping and view of the building. And so similar to my last project, we've been at this for a few years. We've been dealing with a lot of the access issues I mentioned, doing the plotting, revising the plans to meet code, but also to reduce the size of the project. And as part of that process back and forth through the city, we've checked all the boxes. We meet code in all respects. We provide enough parking, we meet height, we meet setbacks, we meet landscaping, et cetera. So I'll leave it here. Thanks very much for allowing me to make this presentation. Of course, happy to answer any questions.
One condition of staff, you approve?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Okay. Questions? Mr. Fisher, go ahead.
You answered one of them with the traffic study and the curb, because it's just the traffic is heavy there. Obviously, you went through that process with the FDOT, which is, I'm very pleased with that. My one question is, if this does get built and approved, is it a membership-based facility? Is it open to the public?
No, so the part of the research that my client did in developing this was discovering that the indoor tennis clubs that are open to the public fail. So the only way to make this work is if it's membership-based. So that's the plan, is for it to be a membership-based facility with the goal of there being 80 to 100 members.
Mrs. Worley.
You mentioned, I saw the rendering of the front. Do you have a rendering of the back? Is that mentioned the neighborhood behind is what they'll be looking at? I didn't really get to see.
I don't believe we obtained a rendering of the rear, but if I, let's second image down would be the south elevation, so that would be the one facing the rear. Now, I will add that there's landscaping as well proposed
Okay.
along that south side, but the south side is clearly not as articulated as the front facade.
You mentioned that you got feedback from the neighborhood and they're welcoming this, so I'm assuming that they've seen the renderings and the landscaping and.
Well, when we came here, however many years ago it was, for the land use plan amendment and the rezoning, we had renderings then, so that was part of the discussion. But full disclosure, I don't know that we haven't met with them again in the past couple months to show them these.
Fine.
I mean, I just want to add that there is a full golf course behind it. It's closed, and it's proposed for redevelopment, which I think is the subject of a lawsuit and another discussion. But there's a big vacant area behind it.
Okay.
So the distance is hundreds of yards between this building and the first residence in Palmer.
Okay, thank you.
Mrs. King?
No, go ahead.
So you did or you did not get an opportunity to speak with the, perhaps, I know it's a lot of residents over at the apartments adjacent to your project. So were you able to meet with the property managers?
So years ago, when we did the land use plan amendment for the city commission, we spoke with quite a few residents. And so we thought that when the land use plan amendment and the rezoning were approved, we were sort of good. We haven't met with them again for this project because there's no actual residential neighbors adjacent to the property.
Well, the only way you could access it are the two lights there, right? The one at, that's right by the apartments there and the one that's at what, 31st Extension?
I guess what I meant is on all sides, there are no neighbors. It's all vacant.
What?
Or,
I know. I'm
yeah.
like my pastor, stay with me, I'm going somewhere. So
okay.
the two lights there are where you would have access to your property, correct?
No, the only access is,
It's a new entryway.
Yeah, your new entryway. But I guess the closest light then would be
yes.
the 31st Extension. So I said that to say that it's already very difficult to get out that way. So if you haven't contacted them, I think, and you're saying maybe only 80 people can come to the club. Maybe they might not all come at the same time, but it's a major traffic nightmare over there. And the other thing that I'd had that I'd want to mention is I have a business over there, so that's why I know what I'm talking about. We have a serious problem with the unhoused. I must say that Broward Sheriff's Office has worked hand in hand with us to help us combat that issue. It's not gone, but it's definitely gotten a lot better. So I don't know if this facility is going to be locked at all times and they're gonna come in with a card, or you're gonna have security, or just some of the things that we encounter with people trying to take our Wi-Fi and people coming over and asking for water. And you talk about the service station. I know what I'm talking about. There's some concerns that I would definitely, want your clients to be aware of, and that's what I'm saying. So how would they have access? Is the door maintained, someone at the door? Is it locked, or how is that going to operate?
Yeah, these are really great questions. We appreciate those. With regard to traffic, so there being 3 tennis courts, we actually talked about this at length today in anticipation of traffic concerns. So the maximum number of people that could be there is, give or take, 20 to 24 people. Because there's 3 tennis courts that can have a maximum of 4 people playing on them at a time, right? Maybe, and it turns over every hour, let's say, if people are reserving the members. So maybe there's people waiting on all the courts. That would be a maximum scenario. So I mentioned the number of members just to kind of give you an idea of the business plan. There is no scenario that there would ever be 80 to 100 people there at once because there's only 3 courts to use. There's not a food and beverage operation proposed like a traditional clubhouse that would have meals. It's more like snacks and drinks, exercise-related stuff. So it's a very low-intensity facility from that perspective. With regard to security, so there are security cameras proposed for the front, and then members will have fob or key card access with doors being locked. So it'll be an access-controlled facility. It won't be just open to the public, anyone can walk in kind of thing.
Okay, thank you.
Mrs. Coleman?
Mr. Scott, I know that when the last time this project was before here, we said, I think it was the plat, we did suggest that you meet with the Palmer folk, simply because sound carries over water, and you do have a built facility across from that. But now I see that it is only for indoor courts, so noise is not the racquetball issue that I thought it might be. And I applaud your client. I think this is a facility that will be used here in South Florida. My question really comes with the expansion. If you build outside courts, it may be a question for staff, would that site plan need to come back to us?
Yes.
Code's a little tricky on that topic. I don't think that comes back. Yeah, so if we were to add the courts outside, I'm pretty sure, and I think staff agrees, that it would be a minor site plan, which doesn't come back to planning and zoning board. But we would, of course, be.
I really want to put some sort of condition here.
So I was going to say, yeah.
That if they build the outside courts, they have to at least meet with a homeowners association in the area, because that issue has become a huge one in other communities.
So just so I understand, because the condition, has implications down the road.
I know, I'm not sure I can even put that condition here, but.
Well, but there are tennis courts in Palmer.
Outdoor.
Existing tennis courts.
Tennis courts and racquetball, pickleball courts are two different things.
Sure.
I keep seeing pickleball mentioned here as well. Tennis courts I don't have that much of an issue with, but pickleball courts have become a huge issue in other communities, and I think it would be.
If I can interrupt you to make life easy,
Yeah.
I'd be happy with a condition that there's no pickleball. I mean, to be clear.
I would rather put a condition that if you planned pickleball courts, you have to meet with the community to hear their concerns.
We know we're not.
I'm not trying to dictate your business model to you.
Well, and I just want to give you the background on this. We're fine with that. That's fine. And the reason why is pickleball has exploded so much so, and you don't need the same heights that you need for tennis. So pickleball is filling in every vacant commercial space, churches, offices. There are pickleball opportunities everywhere. So this business
Downtown
model only works for tennis, for people that say, I need to have somewhere I can play tennis. So go ahead, add it. We'll take that condition all day.
Well,
pickleball
again,
is loud.
Again,
I'm with you.
I'm really not trying to dictate your business model here, and I think this is a great use for this challenging site. I just want to make sure if we have that kind of noise that we're introducing next to water, that you have a talk with the neighbors.
Absolutely.
Okay. Then I'd like to add a condition that if any courts besides tennis courts are considered for the outdoor courts, that there be at least a meeting with the residential and the homeowners association in the neighborhood, however you want to word that.
Okay.
What would be the hours of operation?
So it's 7 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Yes, Mrs. Worley?
Just had a quick question, just curious. So if you add additional tennis courts outside, does the traffic have to change? Or you've got that approval already for additional courts?
Yeah. So the county and FDOT review was for the higher number of courts, and so the traffic study contemplated that.
Okay.
Kind of smiling because there might be a hotel east of here, and their entry is probably not any bigger than this one, but their curb cut isn't. So I'll just put it on the record. I was aware and discussed with the previous owner when they were negotiating this process, but I haven't had any discussions about this, any of the technical site plan stuff. But when Mr. Usman owned the property, I had worked with him on this. And also, obviously, I talked to Mr. Scott on the other one. I talked to him on this one as well. There's nothing in our discussions that was discussed about that I would change any thought process of what I'm doing here. I'll base it all on what is presented today or tonight as evidence. Anybody else? Yes, Mr. Hartzell, go ahead.
I'll say the same disclosure as Fred did. I believe I met the new owners. I was around when the property was in the ownership of Mr. Usman, but that's the extent of my interaction with the new owners. In fact, this is the first time I've seen the plans or how many courts. I just knew it was a tennis company. So I'll base my decision on what's in front of me.
Okay. Anybody else? Anybody in the audience want to speak on this? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Any last comments, council? You good?
No, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay. And with that, the chair will entertain a motion on item number 3.
I recommend approval for item number LN 697 for the Florida indoor tennis courts, that competent, substantial evidence has been permitted and meets approval, and with said condition to add, if any indoor courts are added, that a prior meeting should be
Outdoor.
any prior outdoor court should be added, that a meeting should be conducted with the Palm Air community.
Other than tennis.
Other than tennis, that a meeting should be conducted prior to that with the Palm Air community.
Thank you. Second on that motion?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any questions on that well-articulated motion? Poor thing, she's.
I'd like to comment. I think-
Yes, yeah, no, go ahead, Mr.
I think it's refreshing that that Palm Air is getting additional recreation right now. They've lost a lot of recreation through the trials and tribulations of the world of Palm Air and its disintegration and sales and the parceling off, and it's nice to see that Palm Air is getting some recreation in return. This is good for that community. It's good for all of Pompano to have, world-class indoor tennis courts. We don't have them. You can't find them anywhere. It's very popular in other urban areas, and it's just we don't have access to it. And I'm glad you guys are here. Good presentation.
Okay. Anybody else have any comments? Seeing none, Bobby, call the roll on item number 3.
Mr. Chair, prior to doing that,
Yes.
so I've been conversing with Bobby. No, just as far as the number 2 condition, just want to make sure we're all on the same page. And so if the developer desires to expand the services to include outdoor non-tennis courts, the developer agrees to meet, or the applicant agrees to meet with the surrounding Palm Air communities near or bordering the subject property prior to seeking any development order.
Yes. Thanks.
Okay. All right. So we have a motion and a second, and we have what else do we have? We have, nobody else wanted to say anything except our attorney. And with that, Bobby, call the roll.
Tundra King,
Yes.
Carla Coleman,
Yes.
Gigi DeBeck,
Yes.
Paul Fisher,
Yes.
Robert Hartzell,
Yes.
Carrie Ann Worley,
Yes.
Fred Stacer.
Yes, thanks a lot. Good luck.
Thanks very much.
Good luck, guys. All right. Next item on the agenda is Pompano Beach Cordish 20-acre residential development, P&Z 24-12 4022, 777 Isle of Capri Circle. So, you are up, sir.
Good evening. everyone. Saul Umanya, planner with Development Services. Usually Max Weems is here doing all the live projects, but recently he gave me that responsibility, so you will see me here for all live projects going on forward. Today, we are here for another residential project in the live district. This one is located on the southern part of the PCD. It's actually sandwiched between the Indigo that's currently being constructed on, you can probably see it on Powerline Road, and also the industrial that you can see on the, Racetrack Road. So it's sandwiched in between those two properties. It's going to be serviced by the internal roads that are currently under construction, Main Street and Loop Road. The main access will be through Loop Road, and also there's an access through Main Street, but that's internal. And to the south is the Cypress Bend community, and between the Cypress Bend community and the property, there's going to be a landscaping buffer that I'm not sure if everyone in the board is familiar with it. It is about 50 feet. It will have a wall, and it has to be completed prior to any COs in the location. Those permits are already approved, and the work is already being done for those buffers. A little history on the live PCD. As you may be aware, this came in 2019 and then 2020. It was created under a live, I noticed that it says final scat letter in there. You can ignore that. It was developed under a regional activity land use, and it has a planned commercial development zoning, which permits this type of uses. In the staff report, I included a little summary of all the ongoing projects that are on the live. I'm happy to talk about those, but they're not related to this project. As you can see, we have the Topgolf already done, and then we have the industrial going on, and there's other things that they're not constructed, but they have been approved before. So if you have any questions about those, I can talk about those later. All right, now to the site plan. The site plan it's a major site plan approval for 426 units. Of those, 344 will be from apartment style 6-story multi-building buildings. There's 9 of those. They are lined in the, if you go, a line around the lake in the back with a green pathway with amenities in the middle. And the townhomes are going to be 82 units, townhome style clusters, and they're lined facing Main Road and Loop Road. So it was designed for the townhomes to be lining the street, and then the apartments to be lining the lake. It did get approval from the AAC. They did go twice, but they got the approval after some improvements. And it was approved earlier this month in July, and already has approval from the DRC committee. And I saw the presentation from the applicants, and it is a lot more visually appealing. So you will get to know more of the architecture. This plan meets all of the site plan review standards that were provided to you in your staff report, subject to the conditions in this slide. I already mentioned the number 1, which was about the buffer that needs to be done prior to the CO of this building, and it's already under construction, so we as staff don't feel the need that it's not going to get done. It's already being constructed. The other are just standard conditions, and if you have any questions on those conditions, please let me know. Staff is here. The team is also here with a presentation, so I'm happy to take any questions now or after. Thank you.
Done?
Yes.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions of staff before we go to the applicant? All right, seeing none. Who's Mr. Vondermeulen? We haven't seen you in a while, sir. Glad to see you again.
Yes, good evening. It has been a while, and there's new board members here, so. Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the Planning and Zoning Board. My name is Mike Vonnermulen with Keith. Our offices are at 301 East Atlantic Boulevard in Pompano Beach, and I have been sworn. Tonight, you have a project that Saul went through very thoroughly, so I will attempt to be a little bit brief and show you a few more pretty pictures over and above what was presented. Also with me tonight are representatives from Lennar, which is Mr. Patrick Belton, as well as the architectural team of PPK Architects, Mr. Cleaves, Mr. Starr, and then our landscape architect, Ms. Landucci, who is with the Keith firm as well. So a brief overview, especially for some of the board members who have not been here for the entire project. It started probably closer to 2018. We processed some land use plan amendments, some PCD rezonings back then. Then COVID hit and some things changed. There were some revisions made, and then those plans were approved in 2020 and 2021. This is a somewhat of a rendering of the project, and I'm going to turn my back to you. I apologize, because my pointer does not work as all the way across the board. In fact,
Doesn't work on this one either, huh?
looks like it's not going to work on that one either. So I'll go ahead and just briefly describe. Lower right-hand corner is the what we call the Northwest Retail parcel that has received site plan approval. Moving to the left, you have the Topgolf facility, and then further to the west, you have the industrial parcel, which is Rock Hill or Rock Point, which was 90 acres of the site, and essentially goes from Racetrack Road all the way down to Cypress Bend. In the middle of the project, you have the existing casino. Along with that, there was a 1,500 car parking garage that was constructed, which essentially freed up all of this land, which used to be surface parking. Then you go down, you'll see the lake that is existing on the site. And then the area outlined in red is this proposed project that is going to be developed by Lennar. Further to the right of that red blob is what we call the Indigo project, and that Indigo project is another residential project which is currently under construction, likely to receive certificates of occupancy prior to this Lennar project, and therefore the buffer between Cypress Bend and the live project will be installed and constructed prior to the COs of essentially the other project that's currently under construction. Again, here's a site plan layout essentially explaining the same areas. The one in the bold orange is the area that we're talking about tonight. And here is a colored rendering of the particular 20-acre parcel that wraps around the lake and is bounded by two internal streets to the left, which is Main Street, and then the curved road is named Loop Road, and it loops up all the way up to the casino. There's a total of 426 units, multifamily. This will be a for-sale project in a mix of townhomes and then 6-story condominiums. Wow. We kind of broken this up into two sections so that it's maybe a little easier to digest and understand. You have the 82 townhomes, which essentially wrap around the main roads. And There are 82 townhomes. There are 9 different building types. Some of the more unique ones are right towards the corner or the intersection of Main and Loop Road that have actual motor courts in them. All of these units have garages. They're all 3-story. They are all 3-bedroom. And then this is the condominium section of the development. It wraps around the lake and is essentially segregated, or the surface parking is kind of screened from all the public roads by the townhouses, and then any visuals from the lake, they're screened by the 6-story condominiums. There are a total of 344 condominiums. There are actually just 2 building types here, and there is a mix of 1, 2, and 3-bedroom units. Here's the first rendering. This starts right near the roundabout at Main Street. This is the townhouse project with the condominium project in the rear. This is one of the other townhouses. This is the one located right at the intersection of Loop Road and Main Street. Wrapping around and going over to Loop Road near the main entrance of this project, you have another townhouse project. And then we have some renderings of the 6-story condominiums. And you can see that besides from the condominiums, you have that lake view, you have some walkways around the lake. There's also bicycle parking, and then there's also a clubhouse amenity area which services both the townhouses and the condominium. And this is the final view showing across from the lake what it would look like. And that concludes my presentation.
Okay. Before we move on to the other folks, the 3 conditions of staff, your client's fine with?
Client is fine with all the conditions of staff.
Thank you. Okay. Questions? Mr. Fisher, go ahead.
First question is, what's the parking space count?
Parking space count.
Don't see that anywhere, unfortunately.
I didn't write it down. I wrote down there were 17.
Yeah, there's 859 that are required by zoning. 876 parking spaces that are provided on site. There's an additional 25 spaces along Main Street.
Does that parking count include the garage space or separate?
Includes the garage spaces,
Okay.
yes.
Good for now.
Okay. Good so far. Robert? Go ahead, Mr. Hartzell.
Now, how is this development integrated with the rest of the development around it? Top Golf and the casino, and is it all walkable? And
Yeah, it's encouraged to be walkable. Let me go ahead and see if I can go back to this site plan might be the best to describe it. You can see that a lot of the commercial activity is to the north and to the center with the casino. The area that's outlined in white to the left is an area that's still left to be redeveloped, probably more intended to be more a mixed use of a higher density residential, ground floor commercial. One of the reasons we call it Main Street is that there is to be, a lot of essentially mix of retail and residential along Main Street, trying to essentially become a Main Street on its own. Within the development. To the far east, the area outlined in purple is all industrial warehouse. It is buffered and screened, and heavily landscaped from the rest of the development. Although it was originally part of the original concept, it's essentially been parceled off and is essentially buffered. And the main concentration now is a mix of the residential, which is to the south, along with the commercial recreation and commercial facilities that are farther north. It's all walkable, all wide sidewalks, lots of on-street parking. There are roundabouts. I think you're encouraged to walk and enjoy the entire project all as one.
What amenities are in the clubhouse?
They have the architect or the developer come up and explain. I think it's just, I know there's a swimming pool, regular clubhouse building. I don't know if there's anything additional or special.
Good evening, Peter Kilijian with PPKS Architects. I came in after we got sworn in, so I don't know if
Okay.
it's to happen.
Bobby, swear him in, please.
Do you swear or affirm that the evidence you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Peter Kilijian with PPKS Architects, 1330 Northwest 84th Avenue, Doral, Florida. The clubhouse and amenity area is basically a clubhouse with a gym, some multi-purpose spaces, and pool area and pool deck. So there is, as he mentioned, there's a beautiful promenade along the lake that's also meant as an amenity. So the community is very walkable. The architecture of the townhouses are rear-loaded, so the street front on Main Street and Loop Road is activated by pedestrian entrances from the street. So the project is fully integrated into the urban grade and urban condition that you have there. So in reality, I mean, I feel that there's a lot of amenities throughout the entire, general community. So it's a really beautiful site.
Mr. Chairman, before he leaves, I have a question that he can answer.
Okay.
It's all right. What kind of bicycle infrastructure do you have in the project?
I don't know the count, but we're going to meet whatever the bicycle storage or the bicycle parking is required. And I'm sure we're going to be abiding by bicycle routes that are, that are in the plan. I don't know them off the top of my head, but maybe you can answer that.
Well, please do, because this is the site plan approval.
Yes. So the townhouses, they do have the garage facilities. I think the assumption is that the bicycles for the townhouses will be within those townhouse facilities. There is a minimum of at least one bicycle rack at the located at each building, and they're shown on the site plan. They may be kind of small, especially
Forgive me, I could not see
yeah,
that.
but, so at a minimum, it's a minimum of 32 spaces of the public ones, and that doesn't include anything that may be interior to either the condominiums or the townhouses.
You talk about walkable. This has less to do with the site plan in front of us tonight than the overall development. But there are bike lanes on these streets, correct?
There may be, I believe in the roundabouts, there may be sharrows, but yes, they do have bike lanes.
Okay. We're just learning how important multimodal is these days, and this is a question I'm asking most everyone these days.
Yeah, that was part of our PCD. We had to design the roads,
right, and
the bicycles were definitely included in that.
Okay. This is the first, I think the first, other than some condo hotels on the beach, first for sale project that's been before us in a while. And Indico is a apartment complex, correct?
That's correct, it's a rental.
So this is the for sale and the others to be decided. Okay, thank you.
Yes, Mrs. Worley, go ahead.
Any charging stations on the project?
Sorry, yes, the project has the required charging stations dispersed throughout the project.
What is that requirement?
I think it's 2% of the overall.
2%?
Okay.
And what would be the percentage for affordable housing?
In terms of the affordable housing, this development as well as the Indigo project, we're paying into the affordable housing fee.
Mrs. Worley, go ahead.
I was going to ask a question, but
Yeah, go-
I'm wondering if I should. Do we know what the price point is on these?
Yes. I just asked that one of the developer today.
You know, realtors ask that question. They always do. You know, it's like,
It's a legit question, especially if you're interested. So the townhouses will start at 660,000 and go up to 750,000. I think these are anticipated, all subject to construction costs and everything else that goes on. And then the range for the condominiums will start at 400,000 and go to 650,000. Now, I rounded those up. There was, the sale numbers of
have a bunch of nines in it.
649.99, but I just rounded it up.
Are they all the condos, are they all 2-bedroom?
No, the condominiums are a mix of 1, 2, and 3 bedroom.
Okay.
Would there be any security on property? That's a large amount of apartments and condominiums.
So there is, we were required to provide a SEPTED plan, but
Yeah, I saw that.
one of the things that, and one of the conditions of approval is to make sure that all of our final security features are reviewed and approved by BSO, in particular camera locations and things like that. But is this particular development fenced, gated, restricted of any kind in terms of vehicles? No.
So there's no HOA?
I'm sorry?
HOA?
Well, there'd be condominium associations, and I'm sure HOAs for the townhouses. So I'm sure there'll be a master and probably likely one for each building.
Anybody else right now? No? Okay, here we go. Fred's got a few questions. I noticed on the site plan, we started, this is 20.03 acres. The original section down there, and I guess it looks like I'm assuming because the lake was changed or something, that that it started out at 17.27. Is that on page 9 of our backup? It looks like, obviously, because the way it's overlaid, part of it would be inside of the lake. So I'm assuming it had to do with the drainage lake or the lake that was there.
Yeah, that lake has been redone a few times.
Yeah.
If you've seen, if you look on BCPA, that the property lines do not match yet, but as the sale goes through, that will be rectified.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's not exactly 20 acres anymore.
Yeah, it's like 20.03 is what it says on the site plan. Which I'm not really worried about it. I'm assuming that happened because of the drainage lake being changed or something, based on the way it's overlaid on it.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. We pull this from BCPA when we do these maps. So if BCPA is a little updated, then we won't get the update. I didn't notice that 17.27. So this is all information from BCPA.
Okay. All right. I also noticed that this project has 34.1% pervious area. That's pretty amazing, actually.
Yeah, it's. I think there's a lot of that is the benefit of the lip around the lake.
Yeah. Okay.
There is besides from the little promenade, there is quite a bit of green space on both sides of that sidewalk and of the walkway. A lot of the And I think it's mainly because due to the unique nature, this kind of U-shape, where you're trying to fit rectangles into a U, you ending up with a lot of green spaces. So you'll see a lot of the landscape islands are substantial.
Yes.
So that lends to, that increase in green space. That would be really nice. Essentially another amenity.
Sure. Okay. Do you recall, since you were probably the one that did this, Indigo, how many units is that? Do you know? About 600 or something?
It was in the 400 range as well.
Oh, it was in the 400 range?
I believe so.
Okay. And this is build out for residential?
Or
are there more space?
Again, if we go up to the site, the white rectangle is yet to be developed.
Oh, okay.
It could be hotel. It could be a mix of ground floor commercial and
like a mixed use.
and residential on top. That has yet to be vetted.
Okay. So we're under 900 units at this point.
Correct.
Build out from the original numbers was 4,000?
Yes.
Is that right? Okay.
So we won't get anywhere
Close to that.
And
Yeah. So the residential portion of this will be significantly less intense than what was originally planned. These buildings are 6 stories, I believe you said?
That is
correct.
correct.
And originally they could have gone to up to 40?
Up to 40 stories
Yeah.
in particular areas.
All right. Okay. See if I have anything else. I had, the only thing I have left, I guess, is because I'm usually the one who complains about landscaping. I was out there the other day, and those oak trees along the north part of Loop Road are fabulous. I don't know where they got them, but they got some really nice. Those things have got to be well over 20 feet, and some of them look really field grown. They're very big. Some of them have that Christmas tree look, but most of them are really, really nice. I'm assuming that is done. Is that done by the master developer? That's not done by the individual groups, or how does that work?
That's correct. So the master developer is required to mostly do all the infrastructure improvements, roadways, sidewalks, water, sewer, drainage,
So the loop road and stuff like that complete. I mean, the roads, those major roads, they're doing that, and whoever's doing the infills.
Correct. And then the buffers, the buffers that were required essentially on
the south.
all 3 sides of this property, except for the railroad tracks, those were all done by the master developer as well.
Okay.
As well as if you've been out there and you've seen all the cones on Atlantic Boulevard and Power Line Road, they are doing all of those offsite and Racetrack Road. They're doing all those offsite improvements as well as part of this development.
Well, and the intensity of those is somewhat less than what was originally, I assume, because they know what the intensity level is in terms of trip generation for the whole thing, so they've planned around, these improvements we're seeing like on Racetrack Road and whatever, those are planned around what the ultimate
was.
Yeah, because they had to do improvements based on trip generation.
That's
right. There was levels of the improvements, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
And that was all agreements between FDOT, Broward County, and the city of Pompano Beach.
All right. Okay. Let's see. I don't think I have anything else right now. All right. With that, does anybody in the audience want to speak on this item? Seeing none, we will close the public hearing portion. All right. Anything else from us? Anything else you guys want to add? You good right now? Good. Okay. I did ask you about the 3 conditions, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
we're good with that. Okay, and with that, Chair will entertain a motion on item number 4.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Mrs. Coleman.
I would like to make a motion. I had my glasses.
Is that the motion?
No.
Oh, okay.
Second.
No, I am
Mr. Hartzell seconds it, okay.
Yeah.
There you go. I have new eyes, I don't need.
I found my glasses.
Okay, thank you.
In consideration of P&Z application number 25-120-000-022, I move that the board finds that competent and substantial evidence has presented that satisfies the review criteria and approves the major site plan, subject to the 3 conditions provided by staff.
Second.
A motion and a second. Anybody have any questions on the motion? Seeing none? Oh, I'm sorry.
That's more of a comment.
Sure. Go ahead.
Hey, I'll approve these all day long. I mean, this is, for me, this is what urban planning is all about. And I think you guys did a fantastic job. This is live, work, play. I mean, you can, it has a ton of trip capture. It has the ability for someone to walk and go and have a nice dinner, go to retail. This is what we're talking about when we start doing urban redevelopment. What once was a racetrack that hardly anybody went to is now homes for people. And it takes a lot of pressure off when you start building this many homes for folks. It takes pressure off of affordable housing and workforce housing. Even though you're not providing it, you're providing financing for it. And it takes the pressure off of somebody redeveloping those homes and taking those units out of the workforce housing. I think this is classic new urbanism, and I love it. I like to see it. And I think it was a very good job. You could have went taller.
I made that point already. Anybody else? Okay. With that, Bobby, call the roll on item number 4.
Carla Coleman,
Yes.
Tundra King,
Yes.
Gigi DeBeck,
Yes.
Paul Fisher,
Yes.
Robert Hartzell,
Yes.
Carrie Ann Worley,
Yes.
Fred Stacer.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very
Good
much.
luck. Look forward to seeing 'em.
Good luck.
Okay. I think that takes us off our regular agenda. Do we have any reports by staff tonight?
Staff's leaving us.
I guess the answer to that is no when we look at their backs, but I don't know. No report? Okay. Bobby? Report? Report? You're good? Council? No? You're just glad to be here too, huh? Okay. And with that, we'll start with Mrs. Worley tonight. What you got?
No report. All good.
Okay. Mr. Fisher?
I have nothing tonight. No report.
Okay. Mrs. Coleman?
Of course I have something to say.
Absolutely.
I want to note that the clocks have been changed in here to digital, of which those of us who are older cannot see because there's not enough color differentiation between the background and the numbers. So if those are, I would like to ask if those are, sometimes those kinds of clocks are changeable. You can do a little bit of different background on them. You might want to lighten up the background just a little so us old folks can see them.
Okay.
You hear that, Chris?
I actually think they did that because they didn't want the commission to know how long they'd stayed here. So.
I understand we're coming into the 21st century. I just can't see it.
You can?
For the record, I also can't see.
Huh?
Yeah, it blends in with
I
the
can
wall.
barely make it out. I have to squint.
I don't know.
I can't see that one at all.
I can see the exit sign. Oh.
Yeah, the exit sign looks great. I just can't see what the clock says.
Put it on top of the. Okay.
It's more light on it.
There you go. Anything else?
Nothing else.
Okay.
Thank you
Mrs.
so
King,
much.
You have something?
In light of the project that's going on Martin Luther King Boulevard, I know there's been a lot of, I hate to use the word bantering back and forth, but as a resident of the community of the Northwest, We just want to see some things that we believe are going to be impactful for our community and things that we can be a part of and things that you spoke of that we can walk to, but not only walk to. When we walk to it, we want to be able to afford some of the things that are there and include our family. And I'd love to go down there with my sorority sisters. So those are some of the things that we're looking forward to. I know some people may feel that some are in the community are against the project and some are for, and I understand both positions. But however, I definitely want it to be a place where the people that reside there now are in a position where they can come and partake of things that's going to take place down there. So I've been tried to attend most of the meetings. I try not to be a person to just complain, but I really try to remain a vital person in my community to help in any aspect that I can. And like I said, if the project does take place, I really, really want to remain optimistic that the people that reside there in that community and that have seen some changes, and not all for the better, that they will be able to partake in those things. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Hartzell?
I'd like to start off, but I'd love to hang out with you and your sorority sisters. In the new downtown area, that'd be awesome. I think, I always say it, these guys come in here and they got beat up by staff so bad they're like timid. So that means staff's doing a good job. There's not many changes or conditions that we're having to add to anything because these projects are coming in whole. There's no missing links. There's answers to every question that we asked. Sometimes, the applicants aren't doing what we asked, like meeting with homeowners associations, and hopefully they do that if they change their minds and add additional courts in that one example. But you really have to reach out to the community. The developer does, and staff, you did a great job. Like I always say it, but I really think that they come in here and they look like they got beat up. Like they have done everything. You squeezed every ounce of juice out of every one of those developers, and I do appreciate it. And I do like that these projects are exactly what we need in Pompano Beach. The mixed-use developments, loving what you did out in Pompano Park area. And that's all I got to say. And this team, I mean, we're all, we all disagree. We agree to disagree, but we all come, every one of these votes end up being, unanimous. And it's good. All great input. That's all I got.
Okay. Mrs. Dubik?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. You're not going to believe it, but I don't have anything to say tonight.
What? Oh!
Except, here we go.